The retail recession claims another scalp. Let's have a look. Good morning everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. I've got my morning stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at a breaking or recent article from news.com about Dimmeys being set to close down. Now they are a bargain basement store, like a dollar store, those type of things. And before we go through this article, let's just jump over to another one of my favorite websites. And I have a few favorite websites. If you're regular viewers, you'll probably know those that I found. So this is the retail sales in Australia, month on month. Now, retail sales in Australia advanced 0.2% month on month in September 2019, slowing from a 0.4% gain in August and missing the market expectations of a 0.5% rise. That's the big thing. It's particularly with the market, with the share market. I'm noticing the more I learn about it, it's what the expectations are and the difference between reality and expectations. So the more you look into this and the more you see expectations being incorrect and the market adjusting, means that I'm not as surprised every time I hear the RBA as being uncertain about something or surprised by something. Maybe that's just what I am seeing. And there are a few examples that I'll share with you. Here's just one. Here is just one. The RBA's inflation predictions, but I'm just making fun of them now. So let's jump and keep going through this. Sales of food retailing rose at a softer rate, 0.1% versus 0.3%. So food retailing is down. We can make the assumption that we're people are going out less to eat, to buy food. They're cutting discretionary spending. Sales drop for clothing, footwear, and personal retailing accessories, down 0.5% versus 1.9%. Department stores are down 0.2% versus 1.2%. Also, sales of household goods retailing were unchanged, following a 0.4% gain in the previous month. Meanwhile, sales of other retailing increased further, 0.8% versus 0.3%. And those of cafes, restaurants, takeaways, food rebounded 0.6% versus negative 0.4%. So they dropped and then they rebounded again. So it could just be, we're heading up to Christmas. Do you think we're going to start seeing some of that Christmas cheer? Now, this is data that I want to follow over the next couple of months. I suspect the retail figures, because 10% of the workforce is in this sector over the Christmas period, is going to be quite important just to see. I suspect this will lead to unemployment and it may influence what's going to happen. So we'll have a look down here. You can see this is the consensus, this is the trading economics forecast, and this is the previous. And this is what actually happened. So the consensus and TE were both off, and the consensus and TE were off here as well. So let's jump and have a look at this article. So Dimmeys, it's a discount shop. Now I would argue, and correct me if I'm wrong here, guys, but a large proportion of their stock would be imported from overseas. I mean, it's a dollar shop, isn't it? I'm trying to find manufacturers for products here in Australia and for merch, and it is difficult. If anyone knows a Stein or a drinking cup manufacturer in Queensland, in Brisbane, please let me know. Because one thing we need to, maybe I'll need to bring them from Austria, or they're all coming from China. But one thing we need to be aware of, with changes to the Australian dollar, all of our imports are going to get more expensive. Now, I can imagine a business like Dimmeys would have a certain amount of stock here, but they'd have to bring stuff in. So we had one client, actually, some young lads had started a construction company, and we'd hired them as well on some projects. So they were a client and they were a customer of our customers. And their parents had made their fortune selling tourist stuff, all this tourist stuff. So let's have a look. And where do you think it all came from? It's a bona fide Australian icon, attracting generations of shoppers with its famously no-frills outlook and promises of always a bargain. But after 166 years of trading, discount retailer Dimmeys is finally closing its doors for good. Dimmeys, which is believed to be the oldest ongoing retail company in the country. Wow. That's That's kind of sad in a way, isn't it? 166 years, that's a long time. It shows you nothing lasts forever, guys. Except death and taxes. After 166 years, one of Australia's oldest retailers is closing down. All stock in stores must go. It said on its Facebook page on Tuesday. The news sparked an outpouring of comments from thousands of devastated shoppers. No way. This is one of my favorite stores, one Facebook user posted, while another wrote, this is so depressing, honestly. Little bits of Australia are disappearing so quickly. I mean, let me know in the comments, guys, your Dimmeys experience. I'm not familiar with the brand. I avoid these dollar shops. I remember when I was a child, I went and bought some wonderful, high-quality perfume. It said so on the label, from one of these dollar shops, and I gave it to my mother as a present. And the look on her face... the look on her face. I haven't dared to do it to Rachel after that experience. I think she'd kill me if I got her like a dollar perfume from one of these places. Let me know. I'm sure you can get some bargains there. You know, there'll be lots of stuff there that's good. I think there's some that sell a whole lot of Japanese stuff too now, other ones, but yeah. Oh, actually, one thing we really like, one thing completely off topic, but the one thing I like from these type of places is the cake and ice tray molds that are completely made out of silicon. They're fantastic. They're really good. Best invention ever. You know, go the future. So there you go. There, I found something. Over the decades, Dimmeys built up a loyal following thanks to its quirky variety of products, from underwear to homewares and everything in between at low prices. According to the Dimmeys website, the company has a fascinating history that has had many twists and turns, resulting in a remarkable story of survival in an extremely tough industry. Well, yeah, for 166 years. At Dimmeys, we don't mind admitting that we're an old-fashioned, no-frills organisation focused on keeping our overheads low so we can honour our promise to customers, always a bargain, the website says. Our philosophy assures a truly fun and unique bargain basement style shopping experience. Customers can discover national brand overruns, end of ranges, goods with slight imperfections, and value for money merchandise at 40%, 80% off. There's nothing like the exhilaration of getting a bargain to keep you coming back for more. True, I can appreciate that. Everyone can appreciate a bargain. So, today there are more than 30 Dimmeys stores scattered across the country, with the majority located in Victoria and in smaller towns. So this will have an impact, particularly if the smaller towns are in regions, on some employment. Wow, oh boy, Dipper, guys, thumbs up if you remember Dipper. Thumbs up if you remember. Look at that 80s mo. Look at that 80s mo. How horrible are we going to look now these days in 20 years? All these hipster... I saw a bloke with a man bun. I had to do a double take. I guess, you know, being follically challenged, it's going to be interesting. So, I'm just jealous, guys. That's all it is. In the 80s, Dimmeys recruited AFL legend Robert Dipper Dominic to star in its famous low-budget ad campaigns, and in 2014 the company folded, although it was eventually bought by Cool Breeze Clothing and given a new lease on life. As thousands of Australians mourn the loss of yet another retail empire, the Dimmeys website is still spurking its plans for further expansion, calling on locals to recommend potential sites. Aussie retail in trouble. Sadly, Dimmeys is just one of many Australian retailers to have run into trouble in 2019. In January, men's Edwear retailer Ed Harry went into voluntary administration, and a week later, Aussie sportswear favourite Skins also revealed it was on the brink of failure after applying for bankruptcy in a Swiss court. At the end of the month, Napoleon Purtis Beauty Empire announced the cult makeup chain's 56 Australian stores had closed for stock take. Administrators were appointed, and scores of stores have since collapsed. I've just received some comments from another a viewer suggesting I chart these things. Maybe it'd be worth doing an economic map showing where all these retailers or businesses are closing down to see on a map. I think it'd be quite interesting. I'll add it to the list, guys. I think that'll make a good live stream going through and finding them all. Footwear trailblazer Shoes of Trey also met its demise this year, along with British fashion giant Karen Millen, which in September revealed it would soon shut all Aussie stores, leaving around 80 jobs in peril. Here we go. Must go. Are you heading into Dimmeys? Let us know. Last month, celebrity chef Shannon Bennett's Melbourne burger chain Benny Burger was also placed into administration, followed by 7 Red Rooster outlets in Queensland just days later. And then Aussie activewear sensation Style Runner, which has since been sold to Accent Group Limited. Just weeks ago, it was revealed that popular furniture and homewares company Zinu had collapsed after it abruptly entered voluntary administration, leaving some angry customers in the lurch. Muscle Coach, a leading fitness company, had also been put into voluntary administration this month after a director received a devastating diagnosis in the company and racked up almost $1 million in debts. And this week, it was revealed famous Granini's restaurant chain had entered into voluntary administration, with several of the 13 sites across the country to be closed for good. Now, I'm just jumping over to Trading Economics to see if they have the bankruptcy data. So I found some insolvency statistics from ASIC, and let's just jump here and have a look to see. And I will link to this if you want to play with it yourself and get a better understanding. But you can see companies entering external administration, region and industry. They've got a summary, and we'll look at it a month on month. So we can see here accommodation food services. Let's look at 2019. So February was 91, March 97, April 87, May 89, then 99 in June, 95, 73, 86 in September. Administrative and support services 6 from 4 in the last month. It's agriculture, forestry and fishing is at 10 from 6 in August. Only 5 arts and recreation, down from 8. Construction, look at this, 134 in September. August 148. July 231. June 144. I wonder if this is because people got their tax bills or they figured out what was going on. 144 in May, 115 in April, 153 in March, and 88 in February, and January 100. So what we'll do is I'll just scroll all the way up here and we can see the numbers. So construction is it's always looking rather high, even when we get back to 2014, generally over 100. So it's interesting to see where the game is going. Now, it'd be worth going into this in greater detail and tracking it. So I'll link to this if anyone wants to have a play with it. It's interesting data to see, and just all the trends. I mean, we've only got 1 month of data. We've got a few months of data. I mean, look at July, 235. Maybe I can sort this by... Okay, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I'm going to break it if I play with it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Where do you think retail is heading? Is this article are we just cherry picking particular well-known brands? Are people hypersensitive now to aspects of the retail market? The retail recession, is that what we're seeing? Or is it just, a sign of where things are heading? I mean, the economy has been depressed since the GFC. It hasn't grown it's grown below trend since the GFC, so just keep that in mind. Immigration and population growth, which is primarily our population growth from the data I have, primarily from immigration, guys. It's not internal breeding. We're not having enough kids. So that's the consideration you've got to understand. Is that propping up the economy? So we're getting this artificial sense that we're, GDP is going up on a per capita basis. It ain't doing that well. So guys, let me know what you think. Share your stories of Dimmeys, and like, share and subscribe. If you enjoy my content and want to help me produce more, I have a Patreon where you can make a small monthly donation. I also have a Amazon and eBay affiliate links where I receive a small kickback every time you make a purchase, and it doesn't cost you a cent. It's a great way for you to support social media creators or YouTube channels without spending any money. And finally, I have PayPal and Ethereum if you would like to make a donation. And also, just recently we have started up our own range of Heise Says merch. And if you visit, and I will jump here, if you visit the Heise website, click on merchandise, and you can see our range of handmade, locally fabricated pocket squares that allow you to class up any suit or any jacket for any event. Meeting with the Queen, going to dinner, just going out for beers with the boys at the pub. Get yourself a Heise pocket square. What do you reckon, guys? Good plug? Take care. Talk to you later.